So, accents on YouTube. How do I get that comment off? There we go. Accents on YouTube. Josh, I want you to start us off here because I know that you've had some feedback on your accent, haven't you, on YouTube? So, talk us through your experience as being a YouTuber.
So it's kind of weird. I think it's funny that we've done this podcast from sort of like day one for me because obviously, like when we first started doing this, I had like 300 or 400 subscribers. And now we're at like 1,400 subscribers. So like in the space of 3 months, I've gained 1,000 subscribers. But with that, obviously becomes a lot more eyes on your channel, which naturally is going to provoke conversations in the comments. And 99% of it's been positive. But there's been the odd one or two where people have decided to put the 2 pence in and specifically talking about my accent and the way that I talk. So one guy basically said that I mumble and no one knows what I'm saying. But that's like a video with like 12,000 views and he's the only guy to point it out. And it's got like hundreds of likes. So I'm like, all right. And then another guy basically said my accent was so horrible that he now hates the English. So I was just like, what?
Wow,
I've just destroyed the race. Just destroyed the English people.
That's a pretty powerful statement there, isn't it? From watching one of your videos. Jeez.
So I found it funny, but
I was going to say, what are your thoughts on that? Like, does it get to you at all, or does it make you like want to like change your approach or anything? I don't know.
I think there's one thing I can't change is my accent. I think I'm 27 years old now. Like this is me now. What I would say is I think there's a responsibility on a person when they're going to put themselves in a public forum like YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or put themselves out there, that they need to accept that people are going to be negative. Like it's just going to happen. We don't want it to happen, but it might happen. So you need to go into that with knowing that, somebody might have something negative to say. So that being said, like I said, 99% of the comments were great. And we had the odd 1% that came back that wasn't. And I just had a bit of fun with it. Like I just kind of gave them a little bit of fun back in the comment, but it doesn't bother me. It's only going to be amplified as more eyes come on the channel and more people are going to start passing comment, and it's fair game. I think it's funny that people have got the time to, like, why bother? Would you just go into another video? Like, why would you take the time to put a negative comment? But it is what it is.
Yeah, I've always thought that individual accents and like uniqueness like that, I've always thought it's actually an asset on YouTube. Like I always thought it's beneficial because it gives you some individuality, doesn't it? It gives you like a unique flavor. And I think that's part of the power of YouTube is like with TV, people are so used for decades of just seeing the same sort of thing over and over again. But now with YouTube, they can come on here and they can get a different flavor, and different individuality if whatever they stumble upon and whatever they're looking for. And I think people. Sorry. No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, Joe and I are from Leeds, so we're from the north of England. And if you would have said that before, like people might not know where it is. They know Manchester, but they might not know Leeds. But one thing that recently, in the last 5 years or 10 years, with Game of Thrones coming out, the divide between the north and the south accents is quite prominent. So now, when I speak to American people or people from around the world, I say to them, "Oh, the guys in the north on Game of Thrones, that's where I'm from."
Yeah, they are basically. They've all just basically got northern accents, haven't they? In the Game of Thrones, the people from the north.
Yeah, the two families. Yeah, it's like north and south. That's it. Like,
yeah. So if you look on the screen now, I'm looking at a map of the UK, and if we zoom right out, you can see this is the marker Leeds. This is where Joe and Josh. Are you happy to say you're from Leeds, Joe? Or
yeah, you can say I'm from Leeds. Yeah.
I could be more specific. Let's keep it general at Leeds though for now. So this is where Joe and Josh are from, and if we go down the map to here, this is where I'm from, a little town called Worcester, which it's about 2.5 hour drive down from Leeds. But you can obviously hear that there's a big difference in accent between my accent here in Worcester and the other two up here in Leeds. And it's just like a 2 hour drive's different in the UK. So I've always thought it's pretty like crazy how how much variety there is in accents in the UK, and just like such a small distance traveled between the two places. But yeah, it makes a huge difference, and I think it's fair to say, like, if you two disagree with me, let me know. That people abroad are probably more used to hearing an accent closer to mine when they hear English like accents and TV than they are of hearing accents like similar to yours. Yeah, and it's just it's just interesting that when people do hear different accents like yours, Josh, that they feel compelled to leave comments on it and stuff, isn't it?
I mean, it's funny. I mean, you spoke about it on your last live stream. Like, people thought you were from all sorts of different nationalities, Greg. Like, there were some people who thought you were Indian. Some people, like, I think it's remarkable. Beat Studio there thought I was from Ireland. So I guess without actually putting a title on it, no one can quite. Maybe they just can't guess where you're from, which is kind of interesting. It's funny as well, isn't it?
For sure, yeah. Like, yeah, unless it's spoon-fed to people, then they haven't got a clue of there. Yeah. We're going to say something then, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, we're the same. So do you think you could you differentiate accents from, say, I don't know, Germany, or like Netherlands and Germany, or like Denmark, and, different places in Europe? Could you differentiate those?
Yeah, like Austria and Germany sound the same to me. Belgium and France sound the same to me. Yeah. So it is really hard, I think, to tell the difference in accents, isn't it? Unless you're from those specific places.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually I feel like your accents sound different to me. Like Joe's and Josh's accent sounds different.
Yeah. So I'm actually from a little town called Bradford, and there is a different. There's an accent. There's a different accent between Bradford and Leeds, even though they're so close to each other. There is a different accent.
Let's see how quick I can be on the map here. So yeah, even Leeds, Bradford, what's that, like a 30-minute drive between these two places?
Yeah.
Bradford and Leeds. And there's a difference in accents in just 30 minutes. So yeah, it's inevitable, isn't it, that people are going to have different accents. Geopolitics saying I'm Welsh, Cardiff, and sound interesting to some. Yeah, and I remember last week when I did my live stream, Geopolitic was saying that potentially he thought his Welsh accent might hold him back as being a YouTuber. I think I remember you saying that, Geopolitic. Correct me if I'm wrong. But like I said, yeah, I think you can turn that around and you can really use it as your strength. Just to give yourself individuality, give some uniqueness to your personal brand. And people like diversity, and they like different flavor in life, so just use that to your strength and don't try and shy away from it, and people will connect to it and connect to you, I think, as a person.
Yeah, you can't hide from it, can you? That's the thing. And it's like Canadians, obviously, like to us, the Canadians and Americans sound very similar, but there's just certain dialects and certain twangs, and you go, oh, it's Canadian, like we can just about spot it. But sometimes you might say to an American, oh, are you Canadian? And they're like, they take offense to it, or vice versa. It's just one of those things. But being in England, like the how diverse the accents are is like incredible. So if you go from Leeds to Liverpool, the accent is so strong. So you're an hour, you go an hour west and it's completely different. An hour south, you're in Birmingham, so Brummies, like you're in Peaky Blinders territory. It's like you're talking a 1 hour drive and the accent is so much different. So I think that's the most amazing thing. Like being able to drive in a car for an hour and a half and get such a different accent is unbelievable. Just sort of goes to show what the UK is like, really, doesn't it?
For sure, yeah. There's such difference. But I want to just show my screen now, because it sounds like the majority of like you've only have a couple. Sorry, what am I trying to say? It sounds like the only comments you've had that have mentioned your accent, Josh, have been negative. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I've actually had one guy who said that my accent was beautiful.
Oh, all right. So, there you go then.
All right, more power to you, dude. Cheers.
There you go. That's that's my argument of like everyone likes different things, and some people are going to like latch onto you as a person individually, for sure. But but interestingly, you've had 2 negative and 1 positive. If we zoom into my comments and I search for how do I do this again? I think I click on this. Yeah, search for accent. We can see my comments I've had in the past about my accents. I love it, bro. Nice accent. love this accent and the smile too. You have a great accent. So that
What was that one with the music? Your accent with the music.
Oh yeah, that was basically criticizing my production, saying that my voice and the music playing together, they couldn't understand what I was saying. It's just because I was playing music too loud on my videos. That was like the early days of YouTube. But you can see I'm getting pretty like positive comments, and that just goes to show you, like, I think it does dial back into that old thing of like what people are used to hearing internationally on like the news and on movies and stuff. Like, they're used to hearing voices more similar to mine than other people's. So yeah, like, I think it is fair to say, like, it's great that everyone is like unique and diverse and stuff, but I think it would be ignorant to say that accents are ignored completely as well. Like, I don't know. I don't know if you understand the point I'm trying to make. Like, I think it can be a strength, but I think it does also play. It is important to some people, like to some viewers. Like, they do connect to some accents more than they do to others. I'm just trying to show the diversity of like how there's been different receptions from two different YouTubers on this chat.
I agree. I think it's one of those where, depending on what you like. So I know that I wasn't too like turned on by the Birmingham accent before Peaky Blinders, and it really changed my opinion of it. And it's just one of those things where before, and I'm sure there's many people that think that like the Northern Yorkshire accent is awful, but before sort of Peaky Blinders, I were a bit like, I don't know what I think of that accent. I don't know if I like it. But then I saw something like Peaky Blinders and thought, actually, I like it. And it could be the same for the Northern accent. People could then watch Game of Thrones and be like, oh, actually, I really like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's just one of those things you can grow on your car.
For sure. I think it's definitely like with Game of Thrones, and like as we do get more like diverse like content, films, TV shows coming out, like I do think more and more people are going to become familiar with the Northern accent and like connect to it for sure.
Yeah, you keep seeing like you see a Northern person getting put in a few different series here and there, don't you? Which is good. I like that.
But just to show that like people love different things, like it's not all good for me. Like, here we go, one comment, you have a great accent. If you scroll down to the next one, your accent is annoying. So you literally can't win them all. I think I do one more search. I did a search earlier for voice as well, and I think I had some hate when I searched for comments that had the word voice in it. Oh, it's a good one. Damn, I like your voice. That's a good one. But I definitely saw some negative one. Oh, your voice is amazing. Maybe I just wanted to show off some more, actually, Josh. But yeah, I think it's safe to say like accents are going to play a part, but there's nothing you can do about it. And I think you have to just realize that there's millions upon millions of people using YouTube and watching YouTube. Like, there's enough people using it that you can use your accent as a uniqueness to pull in a unique group of people, because you're still going to have access to like hundreds of thousands of people, that love your accent, even if like millions hate it. So yeah, I wouldn't sweat more stuff.
Were you saying earlier that there was a lady that did a video on accents?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I'm going to actually get onto that in a second.
Okay.
I'll get onto that in just a sec. We'll just go through the comments on what people said on accents, then we'll jump over to that. So yeah, Geopolitics said he's got a Welsh accent. Beach Studio, do you know about Brummies? People from Birmingham, that's 30 minutes away from my hometown, so I definitely know about Brummies, yeah. And that's where Peaky Blinders is set, isn't it? I think you were saying, Josh.
Yes, that's right, yeah.
Matt Finnegan, I don't have an accent, I'm from Nottingham and we're just boring. I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure people from Nottingham have an accent, don't they?
Yeah, they totally do. I like the Nottingham accent, to be fair. I was at sea with a guy from Nottingham, and he had some twangs that I really liked. But again, like when you're around people from different places, you pick up their twang. So like, Greg, you've definitely got a Leeds accent. Like you drop in some Yorkshire twang every now and again.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you take some offense from that, Greg?
Sorry?
Did it?
Did you just take some offense from that?
No, I was like, really? Like, I just couldn't. I can't believe that. Like, I don't feel like I've been in Leeds enough to pick it up.
Yeah, man. You definitely. I've heard just a few things just come out.
Yeah,
and I've gone,
me too.
Okay. Wow, I'm surprised to hear that, but that's yeah, that's fine with me. I like the Leeds accent. We got one here. Josh, your accent's beautiful. That's too positive. There you go. Like, you got a fan.
There we go.
Cambridge English teacher Rory, 70% of people who speak English worldwide are non-native. Yeah. So, so those non-native English people might have an easier time understanding me or people from even further south down by London, because that's just what they're used to hearing in the movies, like the Hugh Grant types and stuff and Keira Knightley's. But I think, like I said, there's enough people on YouTube using it that you don't have to worry about accents. Like you're gonna be all good. What's Holly saying? The thing is, Northern and Southern means nothing to me since I'm not from the UK. I live in the Netherlands, and apparently I have a US accent. But the rest is cut off. Okay, but she's saying she doesn't. I think that's the thing, isn't it? Like us being from the UK, we can't tell the difference between Northern German and a Southern German accent, or a Northern French. And so I think people outside the UK as well, outside of England, probably, I don't know if they notice the difference that much. What do you think?
I've definitely, when I've been in, so I've spent a lot of time in Florida and stuff when I was growing up, and many a time when I spoke to like people who lived in Florida, they're like, "Oh, you've got such a posh accent," and I'm like, "What?" I'm like, "No, the guys on the BBC have got a posh accent. Like the stuff you see in movies is posh. Like this is not posh." Like, but I guess to them it is,
Yeah, that I had that when I was traveling as well, like America, Canada. Everyone thought I was Australian to start off with, but everyone also said that the accent's posh. So I think we can use that as Brits. We can use that to our like strength as YouTubers. Like if people think we have like a nice posh accent, go with it. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. She said, "I'm not from the UK. I'm from the Netherlands." So I'm guessing she didn't speak British. She didn't speak English for her first language. So does that? Do they pick up that accent, the American accent, because of movies and TV shows? That's maybe where it's come from. That's what I feel like.
Yeah. I've got quite a few international friends that when they speak English, they sound American, like Holly's saying she does, and I think it's because of that. Like either they went to international schools where like they're taught by like American like teachers and stuff, or they just learn English from watching American TV shows and American movies. So I think that's right, Joe. I think that's usually the case. But it'd be interesting, people from outside of the UK, like Holly and stuff, can you hear the difference in accents between me, Josh, and Joe, or do we all sound the same to you? And does it make a difference? Do you mind, or does it not matter to you? It'd be really interesting to know what you think. So leave a comment in the chat box. Be interesting to see what people say there.